Welcome to the Port City Plate Podcast, presented by Bienville Bites Food Tour. The Port City Plate Podcast is a podcast serving up the food, history, and people of Mobile, Alabama for people who love the Port City. I am your host, Chris Andrews, and we have a special bonus episode that we are releasing for y'all today on the show. I am sitting in on the podcast with two really awesome people. One happens to be my lovely wife, Laney Andrews, and then we've got our illustrious tour guide, Bienville Bites tour guide, Lee Hanks, also sitting in today on the show. And I'm excited to have them on primarily. There's a lot of new restaurants opening up here in the Mobile area, and I want to talk about some of these new restaurants with them. And so we're just going to kind of go around and it'll be a little bit of a different podcast than our normal, interview style with that we've had before. So we just kind of want to go around and talk about some different restaurants, and we're going to hit on king cake and really get into a lot of the exciting things that are going on. We'll talk about Mardi Gras tours with Bienville Bites. So welcome to the Port City Plate Podcast, Laney and Lee.
Thank you for having me, y'all. He finally let me on here. I think he was scared of what I would say, but here I am.
Not scared at all. I have to admit, Bienville Bites would not have happened if it hadn't been for Laney. And she has definitely brought the creative and the fun side of Bienville Bites to the table. Whereas I probably bring not the boring side.
Executor.
The executor.
Definitely the executor.
We definitely balance each other out. She has some of the best ideas of anybody in Mobile, and so I'm so glad that we've been able to do this together.
Very kind, Chris, but I can't take all the credit for sure.
Well, you can't take all the credit for Fairhope, Taste of Fairhope. Laney did start Taste of Fairhope in 2020. I think we were the only food tour in the world that started in 2020, post-pandemic. We were probably the first food tour that started post-pandemic.
Yes, and there was later we've learned that there was probably a reason that we were the only ones that started in that year. But it was, I say that it's a success because it is still going and growing. And so I feel like the foundation was laid, even though it was a crazy year to lay a foundation for a business. It was, and that was kind of
we talked about that going into it, when we were talking about starting a food tour in 2020. That's pretty crazy to do. But we that was kind of what I think that really motivated us to do that, was the fact that we can have the groundwork laid for when travel and tourism recovers. We're going to be set, and I think that's happened. You did an awesome job with some of the best restaurants in Fairhope: Provision, Panini Pete's, Baby's Cafe, Mr. Jean's Beans. I mean, they're just some of the iconic dishes in Fairhope on that tour, and
for sure,
I love that tour over there.
Yes, definitely.
And proud of you for doing that.
Oh, well, thanks. Yes, that was a fun tour. I try to get over there as much as I can. And see the people that made that happen there. Yeah,
and we got some awesome tour guides, Parker and Jennifer. Savannah's is a little taking a little break right now, postpartum, but she's they all, the three of them, they knock it out over there. So you're no longer in the day to day with Bienville Bites anymore.
No,
tell us about what you're doing these days.
So before Bienville Bites and Taste of Fairhope, I was an educator. And it just got to a point where we needed to make some shifts in our, life. With Chris wanted to be able to do this full time, and I wanted to get back into the education field. So I am working for a nonprofit Fuse project here in Mobile, Alabama, and we create projects and fund projects that enable opportunities for children. And so we are starting a early learning center in the downtown area, specifically the Avenue area, and that's for another day, another podcast. But so I will be the education director at that early learning center. So love being back in the education field, and still try to boss Chris around when I can.
Yeah, putting those good ideas to use. You're putting those ideas to good use. So, and then, like I mentioned, we also have Lee Hanks, our tour guide, with us. Now, Lee and I actually met on a Bienville Bites tour. We did not know each other. I think the first tour that Lee and his wife came on was a Mardi Gras tour, and we got to know each other. And just, as I was giving tours throughout downtown, I would just run into Lee all the time. And so I guess earlier this year, in 2022, last year, we were able to bring Lee on, and man, he has just knocked it out of the park. Ever since he started with us in July, we've had, I think it was 17 5-star reviews that we had from Lee, which, that may not sound, I don't know if that sounds like a lot to the listeners, but that's an incredible number of reviews, of 5-star reviews. And so I couldn't be more happy. Lee, thanks for coming on today.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here. I guess I'll Venmo you later for all of that. Yeah, it was really awesome to, my wife loves to surprise. We like to do surprise dates, and she had planned that Mardi Gras tour with another one of our friends for a surprise date, and that was neat. And she knows, and I know like yourself, you never meet a stranger. And it's funny how after that, Mobile's a big, small town. Probably have several hundred friends in common, then started running into each other all over downtown. So we're very much foodies, love to be out and meeting people and everything, and we love our city. And so it was just neat. And then I mentioned to you, it was last spring. Man, if you ever need some help, I love my city, love food, love people. I'm not looking for another job. It's fun for me. And then you're like, you ready?
Yep. Yeah, after you told me that, like I said, it never left my mind, and we can't have too many awesome people that love Mobile, that love people. So I'm so happy that you came on. You'll primarily catch Lee if you take a Friday afternoon tour with us, but also, he's also giving private tours on Thursday evenings and Saturdays, but tell us a little bit about what you do outside of Bienville Bites.
All right, absolutely. By the way, we have a phenomenal crew of tour guides, don't we? Everybody's just wonderful, and so an awesome team to be a part of. But for my regular full-time job, my vocation, I actually am a connections pastor at a local church here in town at Day Spring Baptist Church, and I have the privilege to really just help plug people in, plug them into our mission there to help get them into community, help them find community. And then I also, with a background that I have through 20 years in telecom, I also manage our membership and our database and a lot of that. So I get to take what I do during the week and I just get to carry it forward and then add food to it and do tours and share about the city.
I love it. And I remember when we first sat down and met that first day, I think I was telling you about how we're just looking for people who love Mobile, people that we want to connect to Mobile. And that's kind of our word that we use a lot, is we like to connect people to the city of Mobile. And you were like, dude, I'm literally the connections pastor. That's literally my job. And
Yeah.
so I just thought that's the coolest thing.
Well, yeah, I tell people I think they give me the title to make me feel good. I feel like I am the mascot, I get to bounce around and be joyous and happy with everybody. But no, it's actually a pleasure. I'm very thankful every day for that opportunity.
That's cool. So I got y'all on today. I wanted to talk about a blog post that we recently published at Bienville Bites, and it's the most popular piece of content on our website. It's the most viewed page on our website all year long, and it's the coming soon in 2023, new places to eat in downtown Mobile, and this year we've or not just downtown Mobile, but new places to eat in Mobile. And this year we even kind of expanded that a little bit to some places that are outside of Mobile. And so I'm excited to go over some of these restaurants with y'all. We got some really good restaurants coming soon. 2022 really saw a huge boom toward the end of the year, especially. I know we posted this blog post last January, and I think there were probably 6 or 7 restaurants that were not on this initial list in January that ended up opening in 2022. So we saw a huge boom in 2022 of restaurants, and primarily downtown. Right now, as of January in 2023, there's not a whole lot coming soon. I think probably the most anticipated thing that's coming soon is going to be the new food hall that's going to be coming into the RSA Trustmark building where the old Moon Pie store is, and that's going to be a Panini Pete run food hall. It's going to be called Parc La Trailer. Now that's a little French for trailer park, a little Southern French. And according to Panini Pete, now I haven't been able to confirm this with my historians, but according to Panini Pete, this was the site of the first trailer park in Mobile. So that is the given the name there. Now inside the Parc La Trailer is going to be 4 Panini Pete owned establishments, And so inside is going to be Mobtown Slice, which is going to be pizza, and Taco Mysterio, which will be, of course, tacos and probably nachos and things like that. Pickled Chicken will be their take on chicken. I think you're going to see probably, if you've been to Squid Ink, you'll see, they have the Mobtown hot chicken there. I think it'll be, I think a similar style dish will be served there at Pickled Chicken. But the restaurant, the fourth one that's going to be the most exciting inside the new food hall is going to be Panini Pete's, and having the return of Panini Pete's back to downtown Mobile, having those beignets and the lemon back to downtown Mobile. I think that's the one that most people are going to be excited about. We had Panini Pete and his business partner Nick DeMario on the podcast a couple of episodes ago, and he was telling us about some of the concepts there, and they're going to be open for breakfast and lunch every day. There's going to be an event space that's going to be open up in the evenings, and so it's going to be it's going to be kind of like a I hate to say hanging out at the trailer park, but like I said, there's going to be lounge chairs, and I think there's going to be games and board games and like a stage for live music and stuff like that. So excited, and I'm excited to hang out at the trailer park.
Yes, I am so glad to see Panini Pete's come back to Mobile. That was one of our first stops on one of our first locations that we partnered with on the Bienville Bites Food Tour, and they have just been a solid relationship in our whole endeavor with Bienville Bites and Taste of Fairhope. So I'm really excited to get a muffalata back. This is just a couple of blocks away from my office, and so I know there will be a regular path to this spot. No doubt
about that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it happen. I've especially taken over that space. That's a great space right there on Royal Street. And that whole area right there is my Mardi Gras landing zone. That's where I catch the parades, and I love to visit the establishments right there. So it's going to be great to have some counter service restaurants right there.
Yeah, same. And I think I told either Nick or P1. That's why I was like, man, you can just about make your business just during Mardi Gras. That location is so prime. Just during Mardi Gras alone.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited, as a family, we have 3 children, and I'm excited to be able to go somewhere that they can all pick what they want to eat. I know that the food hall concept has been very popular going out to eat with my kids.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the Insider Food Hall was one that opened up, in 2022, and that was one of the ones that we anticipated, and yeah, I know that I enjoy the burger, whereas some of the kids enjoy the tacos and pizza and stuff like that too. What are some other restaurants that y'all are excited about? I know we on the list we mentioned a couple of places that were actually on the list last year in 2022, and Soku. From what I understand, that one is still Soku Coffee. Is still in the works. I know that Erica Barrett, the chef there at Soku, and the owner, I know she's gone on to open up a restaurant in Washington D.C., Atlanta, Georgia, and so I know she's probably put the Soku Coffee, I guess, a little bit on the back burner. But that's going to be a good. I think we're definitely lacking in dessert spots downtown, for sure.
Yes, there are plenty of times when you and I go out to eat and we want something sweet afterwards, and we have the beignets that are delicious at Mo Bay, and so it will be good to have another option that we can hit up after a meal out. And you can never have too much coffee around.
That's right.
Coffee options around. So I know I've had dessert at Soku, the restaurant across the street from this location that's opening up, and their dessert is very good at Soku. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to have on the menu. She is so innovative when it comes to her menu, so looking forward to that.
Yeah, there's no doubt. If you could pick somebody to make desserts for you, I think Erica Barrett would be right there at the top.
Yes, I agree with that.
And then, of course, the Benji Burger and Breakfast is going to be coming to the old Game On location right there in the heart of downtown Mobile. I know they've been doing a lot of work on that building there, and I think kind of the delay there would be, when they got in and started renovating that building, they had to renovate all 3-4 floors of that building. Oh, and wow. So, there's more to it than just that bottom floor that's going to be the restaurant. And so I think that's kind of delayed a lot of the progress there. Box out is another kind of a food hall concept. This one's going to be in shipping containers. It's going to be really, really cool. Right there by Heroes and in that stretch of where Mediterranean Sandwich is on Dolphin Street, and that's going to be a cool concept too. So you're going to see, you're probably going to see wings, and you're going to see a lot of the different, you're going to see barbecue and stuff like that's going to be at the box out. I know they're trying to push for a kind of a soft opening, from what I understand, for Mardi Gras right there, and before they kind of officially, blow it out of the water later on, but. That's going to be a cool spot.
Well, that'll be tremendous. I know they've been working on it for quite some time, but being right there in the heart, the true heart of the Lodi Entertainment District, it's just going to be incredible right there.
Yep.
Yes, I was over there the other day shopping at Urban Emporium and noticed they have really done a lot of work on the outside facility. So there's two facilities, right? There's going to be the outdoor portion and the indoor portion. Now, will the outdoor have food trucks parked, or will the food trucks actually house a kitchen inside?
I believe that each facility, will have its own kitchen inside, and it'll be a different concept at each of those locations inside, and that's the outdoor portion of it. That'll be where the shipping containers will be at. The inside building that's next door, that's going to be more of a dining room area for you to be able to get your food outside. And then take it inside and eat inside. Yeah,
so there's been lots of progress made on the dining room portion of it that is fairly new. It looks like they're getting closer for sure.
Yep. And the last one is the Sporty T Steakhouse coming soon. It's going to be right across from Bienville Square on Dolphin Street. And, that building right there is going to need a lot of work. Not sure if it's going to be 2023. It's definitely going to be late December 2023 if they're going to make 2023. But I know they have had plans have been presented to the city, and so I think you're probably going to see a lot of work being done there pretty soon. And supposedly the menu there is going to be hot dog sandwiches, burgers, steaks, and seafood. I'm sure a lot of TV. So that'll be a cool spot too. But like I said, we had a lot of restaurants open up in late 2022, and one that we had Matt Lamond on our second episode, and he was telling us about Post on the Hill, and Post on the Hill they ended up opening up, a couple of months after that, and I was able to go out there and check it out and loved it. They got some really cool new menu items out there, and I think I've talked about it a couple times on this podcast actually. The Nashville hot chicken toast was really, really good. I enjoyed that, and then some duck fat truffle fries, really good. So that's a good spot out there in Spring Hill in the old August House location. I think we definitely needed something like that for that area.
Yes, I agree. I have all of my friends that are in that area are super excited about finally being able to experience Post in their community there. So you went without me, so I can't wait to go visit that location. Looking forward to it. Maybe I'll take some girlfriends.
Yeah, you probably owe me for that one. I did. I took a date. His name is Joe.
Yeah, that's great.
Not Laney for that one. Before this podcast, the three of us went to Grace on Dolphin. Now I know Lee had been there prior to that was Laney and I's first time going, and it was great. It was great. I had the chicken clucker. I won't say that 10 times fast, but it was really good. And then of course the service we had Miss Lois, who is just she is well known here in the downtown food scene for her service, and even over in Fairhope when she was at Panini Pete's in Fairhope. So love her, love going to see her, and Grace on Dolphin. I'm excited to go back down there. They've got a new lunch menu that's going to be coming out, she said.
Next week,
and,
I think.
Yep, next week they're going to have some appetizers and things like that on there, and then a brunch.
I think she said brunch was kicking off on the 29th.
29th of January.
To the public.
Yep. Right. So that should be, probably by the time people are listening to this episode, they'll be having brunch on every Sunday.
Yes, and we went for lunch, and so the lunch menu was different than the dinner menu, of course. But I had a burger, and it was phenomenal. It was a really good burger. Enjoyed that a lot. Some other things that I did notice, they have a soup of the day that I almost went with, and a duck salad. So I'm ready to go back and have both of those.
Yeah, absolutely. And as soon as I saw the BLTP on the menu, I'm a pimento cheese fan. Love to make it, love to eat it. But the BLT with pimento cheese served on a French loaf was absolutely fantastic. But as you mentioned, though, we got to go. I was very, very fortunate to grab reservations on their first Friday night with my wife and another couple. I had the lamb shank busco, phenomenal dish. Obviously, it's like having a stew. And I think she said they make it for several days, up to a week.
Yeah, she said 8 days.
That's
they
amazing.
Cook it day and night for 8 days, so
Yes.
you can imagine. I mean,
You
had it.
Yes, it was very tender, off the bone. And it's almost like taking me back to Grandma's kitchen, but it has a nice gourmet flair to it. And then served over a risotto with some vegetables. And my wife had the duck breast. It was great. I took a nibble of everybody's plate. The pork chop was huge that my friend had, and the margarita pasta my other friend had was really good. One extra side that I did order that day or that night was their Mexican street corn. I love to make Mexican street corn, and it was fantastic. So I'm excited to go venture out on some other things. I'm really excited about brunch. My wife and I love to come downtown and do an early morning jog and then catch breakfast at places.
Yes, and don't forget it's a rooftop bar. So are you
Yes.
going to sit on the rooftop?
I will, as long as it's not cold.
Did you when you went
we
before?
went up there and took
Yeah.
and got the view. It's amazing. Like today would have been nice, but it's too windy.
Too
Yeah.
cold today.
It's sunny but too cold. That's right.
Yeah, I know our tour guide, Catherine, I know she went up to the rooftop. She was just telling me about it, that she went up there, and it was about 30 degrees that night, and she ended up going up there too. But the view's incredible. I mean, that's an awesome spot.
That's dedication. Proud of you, Catherine. I couldn't do it today.
That's right.
What are some other places that y'all have that y'all enjoyed that were new in 2022?
Okay, Slurp Society, best thing ever. It's definitely been visited a few times by me, and I guess I got you back on this for going to Post on the Hill without me. So I've been a few times without you to Slurp, and man, I mean, I've tried something different every time I've gone, but my consistent go-to are for sure the Brussels, like the Brussels. All right, Lee, we looked this up before we came in here.
Yeah.
I cannot pronounce all of the Japanese, and I can't do it. But we had the Brussels, and they have the seasoning. What was it?
For a kake? For a yaki?
Something. Anyway, it is a dry seasoning that they put on
Yeah.
top of the Brussels that I've never had on Brussels, and I mean, it just takes it to a whole new level.
Oh, then I mean, and you put bacon in anything, and it's fantastic.
Absolutely.
The bacon, the sweet honey chili sauce, it is great.
And the first time I went, I had a ramen bowl, and that was really good. I think I had the Battleship ramen bowl. Different than pho, but it's still the same warm concept of a bowl with a broth and noodles. The last time I went, I had the bao sandwich type. I think you can mix and match, and so that's a great thing because I never can decide on one. So did the mix and match on that and enjoyed that a lot too.
Yeah, I love Slurp Society. The time we went, I got the Slurp OG, enjoyed it. I'm kind of new to the ramen scene a little bit, so but I love it. And man, I can't believe really how popular Slurp Society has been since they opened. I mean, it's really been one of the most popular restaurants since they opened.
Indeed.
I wouldn't advise going there like if you're on a first date or anything like that because the name Slurp, I mean, it can get kind of ugly.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and then, because I really, sitting there with the whole bowl of ramen and the broth and all, I wanted to just take the bowl up and drink it. And so you really have to check any table etiquette at the door when you come in.
Did you?
No.
I'm disappointed.
No, my wife might give me the stink eye for that. No, but it was very, very good. That was the first time I actually had real ramen. I mean, I'm very familiar with the college ramen, right? And I've done some amazing dishes
We're all
with
familiar
it.
with that.
But this was fantastic. And my wife as well enjoyed the chicken Courage bow.
Yeah, no judgment if you slurp the bowl. No judgment from me anyway. And also our next scheduled podcast guest will be Chef Wade from Slurp Society.
Oh, good.
So
Excellent.
that'll be the next podcast. So that's a little teaser for y'all on that one. Any other places y'all went? I know one of the other new places, kind of new but not really new, was the Pizzeria Delfina inside the Insider Food Hall. I know everybody was just kind of heartbroken when Pizzeria Delfina closed their location on Dolphin Street, and so really excited to see them back and see them at the Insider Food Hall. Just pizza only right now. So they haven't ventured out yet, into any kind of pasta or a lot of dishes like that. But man, I was really surprised. Pizza's really good. Pizza's really good.
Yeah,
there.
it's good to see a Mobile favorite come back. I know that a lot of restaurants had a lot of struggles within the past couple of years, and to see somebody come back after all of the happenings, that is really, really good to see.
One other spot that opened up late 2022 that is almost, it's no doubt it's a stone's throw from where we are recording in our studio here, is the Next Level Sky Bar, which is on top of Bebop's, and they've renovated that spot up there, and man, it looks really, really cool. They've got some TVs,
yes.
and just it looks really, really cool. So gonna have to get up there one evening again when it kind of warms up a little bit, probably. But I did see on Facebook that they have a lot of heaters, a lot of space heaters. So don't let the cold deter you. Tell them to turn them space heaters on if you need to go up there and have a drink too.
So what is it, like third level? Because they have 2 levels in their actual establishment, right? So the rooftop bar looks so high that I think it's more like a third level view.
Yeah. And that's going to be some of the best views in downtown Mobile too. You're going to have some awesome views of the Battle House and Royal Street and the entire skyline right there, Van Antwerp. That's a cool spot. We had to venture the blog post a little bit outside Mobile. Just some additional content. And one that I'm excited about, of course, is the return of Ed's Seafood Shed. So Ed's, of course, was lost to a fire on the causeway, and kind of devastating there. And I know, talking to Pete and Nick, weren't able to kind of salvage that location without just pouring an insane amount of money into it and getting it up to code for environmental reasons and things like that. So, but they are going to reopen Ed's Seafood Shed. So the Yo Mama's Platter's coming back. They're going to be moving just up the hill there in Spanish Fort to the shopping center that's right there. When you get into Spanish Fort, off the causeway, right there to the right, that where Beef O'Brady's used to be right there. That's where the Ed's Seafood Shed. I think they've already got the sign that's up. So it shouldn't be too long there, and that's going to be a cool spot.
Yes, excited about that. Ed's has been, something that, we've been going to for a while now. It was fun to watch Panini Pete take ownership of that and, put his flair to things. And so, yes, it's definitely fun to see that one come back. And I can't wait for you to go back and get that hot catfish bowl. I know it's one of your favorites. He can taste it right now, y'all.
Man, I've missed that hot catfish bowl. I love that hot catfish bowl.
Have you had that, Lee?
I've not. When I saw that you had it listed, that's one thing I've not had there. I'm usually going for the same thing whenever I go. I'm going for the fried shrimp, as I mentioned to you. Their batter's very similar to what I like to use. But Yo Mama's platter.
I'm there for the coleslaw. Coleslaw and the crackers.
Coleslaw and the saltine
yes.
crackers.
Yes. And my kids always, they love those alligator cups. It's just a favorite.
And the gumbo's always good.
Yeah, they have good gumbo. Yeah, that hot catfish bowl. I'm usually not a bowl person, mixing a lot of the food together. But, when you got those grits and greens and that catfish, I'll be there. I'll be there when they open.
He's ready, y'all. He's ready.
Yep. All right. What about some other coming soon? Y'all think?
I think we have, definitely given kudos to Pete, but he's doing another concept at the Waterfront Restaurant, which is the former Lake Forest Yacht Club. And on one of the podcasts, they kind of leaked out that they were going to have bushwhackers. And I mean, that's all they had to say. So I cannot wait to go watch probably a sunset and drink a bushwhacker.
No doubt. Yeah, they actually, the Port City Plate podcast broke the news of the Waterfront Restaurant that Pete's opening up. When we had Pete and Nick on the podcast, they literally signed the paperwork to lease that day that we were recording them. And so, so that was pretty cool. Like I said, we broke that news, and he was on here talking about it. Huge restaurant, over 7,000 square feet. And he mentioned the bushwhackers and the fresh fish and seafood. I'm going to say it's probably going to be Sunset Point, but on steroids, which is hard to imagine because Sunset Point is phenomenal. The views there are phenomenal, but he says the views here don't hold a candle to Sunset Point. Don't hold a candle to the views here.
Wow!
So that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
That's going to be a really, really cool place. Another one we didn't mention also, Coma Bistro is one that was in downtown Mobile that they just opened up at the end of 2020, and I know they've got some. Of course, the waffle pizza was one that I haven't been yet, so I'm gonna have to get down there and try that waffle pizza. Mardi Gras, they got a Mardi Gras gumbo pizza, waffle pizza. Something that's interesting.
And I'm always down for some wings too. So
absolutely.
I hear they have good wings.
Yes. Yeah, the wings did look really, really good. And some stuff, I know and some kind of crawfish dips, things like that too.
Yes,
so that's going to be good.
I'm here for the crawfish dip.
No doubt.
That'll definitely be. Yes, I haven't been either. So once, I guess we'll hold out for each other on that one. We'll wait and we'll go to that one together. Yes, I definitely want to try that crawfish dip.
Now, Lee, I know you know Reza, the former head sushi chef at Chuck's Fish, opening up his own spot in Daphne. Tell us about Reza.
Man, I love Reza, and once you meet him, you can't help but love the guy. Chuck's Fish, one of my absolute favorite sushi place in town. My bride and I were there at least once a month to go, and that's how we met Reza, sitting up at the sushi bar. But I'm so excited. I saw that he's opening a restaurant there in Daphne. He's incredibly talented, and he's going to have a lot of Asian fusion, dishes there with sushi, steaks, and seafood. But Reza's Indonesian born, and if you follow him on his socials, you can learn a little bit about his story, and I already see some pictures of some things. So I told him I want to be there day one because it's exciting to see, and I love to see all these restaurant tours get out there and take a leap of faith.
Yeah, it's tough.
It is.
It's really tough.
It really is. But Reza Basnami, an incredible guy, an incredible chef. So
all right, good deal.
They're going to do great things over there.
Reza's restaurant, I know I've also been following them on Instagram, and they've been posting a lot. So I think they're going to be able to keep everybody up to date on that Instagram page. And when Lee goes to Reza's on day one, he's definitely going to post about it on the Port City Plate Facebook group too.
That's right.
Also in Fairhope, a couple new spots in Fairhope, a couple new coffee spots. One of our favorites, Provision.
Oh yes, love William and Elizabeth at Provision. So they were actually the very first person that agreed to my crazy idea in Fairhope. This was a hard idea to sell to Mobile and Baldwin County because food tours are kind of a foreign concept. We're the only two in Alabama. Am I right about that, or is there?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. I thought that was correct. I didn't know if I had missed any latest news. And so, William saw our vision. He saw what we were trying to do in Fairhope and connect people to food and drink in the area. And so he bought in. Now, William was very similar to us. He opened a business in 2020 as well. And so we have a lot in common there. And so to see him not only open that business, sustain it through all the last few years, all that we've been through, and then now he's opening another one. And am I right? This is the only drive-through coffee in Fairhope? Is that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes,
I think that's right.
I think it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. Y'all send me a message. But so, yes, I'm super excited about this. Provision has a great product, and I'm excited to be able to see people be able to connect to that on a regular basis with a drive-through. I know that's going to definitely hit a whole new market.
Yeah, I know, and what was interesting, I thought, was, kind of talking to William, when they first opened, I don't think coffee was really their intention. I think coffee was certainly a part of it, but I don't think that was really their I don't think they really thought coffee was going to be as big a thing for them as it turned out to be. So it's really cool to kind of see them, and they're really innovative too. So that drive-through coffee shop, that's going to be huge for Fairhope.
Until then, if you haven't been to Provision in Fairhope, definitely get by there. Their mission is to come and sit a while and feel like you're in Grandma's living room, and they have the comfiest little spots. It's cozy. It's just a great place to study, to read, to meet a friend. I love going there.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, like you said, it's perfect. During the day, it's perfect for coffee. In the morning, lunch, they got some good lunch, good sandwiches, and the dish we have on the tour over there, the West Indies avocado toast, and even at night, they got some food dishes, and of course you can get a glass of wine, and the wine director Christine over there can help you out, and so can't say enough good things about Provision. Also, in Fairhope, new coffee is going to be the Barn at Hope Farm.
Oh wow! And
that's going to be awesome. A cool spot. That's not on the blog post. I'm going to have to update that and put them on there too. But yeah, the coffee provided by Nova Espresso. I'm pretty sure a lot of our listeners have definitely been to Nova, and whether that's downtown or at their Midtown store too. So the coffee is going to be phenomenal there at the Barn, and they've got some cool lunch menu items there that they're going to be doing lunch and breakfast, and So they will be open. We're recording this podcast middle of January. I think they're open to be January 16th.
Yes, I think it's this weekend. I've seen pictures of the barn, and Hope Farm has done an amazing job with this space. It is, they carried you can see the continuation of Hope Farm in the barn, and you can see it on their menu as well. And so I'm really excited. Hope Farm is one of my favorite places in Baldwin County, and so I'm excited about seeing this. It seems like a much more laid back concept with tables that you can just grab a seat and for lunch, and so I'm excited about that.
Another place that speaking of coffee,
and they have pimento.
Yes, well, I love Hope Farm. Now we're going to add pimento to it. I mean,
well, you'll be there.
I need to move across the bay.
No, you do not. Sorry, y'all, he's not coming over. Come on.
When we posted this blog post on Facebook, Dr. Jim Rubel kind of called me out a little bit about Red Bar Espresso.
No, he was helping you, Chris.
Helping, for sure. They also have they just moved locations. They were on the Tanner Williams side, where Old Shell Road becomes Tanner Williams, right there on Schillinger, near their flea market. Mm-hmm. They were on the Tanner Williams side. They've now moved locations kind of across to the Old Shell Road side, so just a little bit towards South Alabama's campus. And they've got a new building there, and they're doing lunch, they're doing breakfast, and according to Dr. Rubel, they have a full bar at night and burgers. So fantastic. That'll be a good one. Lee, you're a West Mobile guy. You have to check that one out too.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Sounds good.
All right, so we've talked about a lot of the restaurants and stuff, and and the last episode that we had Mandy Conkle and Amy Risser on, and we talked a little bit about King Cake, and we talked a little bit about the King Cake Off, 2023 King Cake Off, January 27th. That's going to be an awesome event. We're going to be there for sure, checking out all the different king cakes. And so I wanted to kind of hit on king cakes before we wrap this thing up. Have y'all had some good king cake this year yet?
Oh, yes. I don't know. I have turned over a new leaf this year. Usually I indulge so much in December with holiday parties, and I'm not saying that I didn't do that this year, but I don't know, January 6th rolled around and I was ready to go with king cakes. And so my kids made a joke yesterday, Mom, you've come home with a new king cake every day. And I'm like, are you mad? Are you mad about it? I don't think you
I sure ain't mad.
No, Chris is loving it. So yes, I've had some good king cakes this year. Urban Emporium is carrying Randazzo's king cakes this year. And I'm sure there are a lot of locations around, but that's the one I hit up this year. They are bringing them in I think it's on a weekly basis, so you can get the New Orleans king cakes from Randazzo's over here. But local, Bread by Beck is a new one this year that we tried, and she is out of her, she has a bakery in her home, but she is doing a lot of pop-up shops. So I know that Serta's has hers. There are Do Good Mercantile has her cakes. So if you go follow her on Instagram, Facebook, she's definitely doing a great job letting people know where she's located. So that was a new one that I had this year. Of course, you've got Pullman's, the Mobile Classic, serving out of their Broad Street location, correct?
Yep, that's right. Yep. Yeah, Bread by Beck, she's doing an awesome job getting the word out. And it kind of reminds me a lot of Dropout Bakery this time last year. That's what they were kind of doing, the same thing. Baking out of their homes, but everywhere you went, you were seeing the king cakes. And so I think you're going to be, if you don't have some of her king cake, you're going to be hearing about it everywhere you go, because she's been everywhere. But yeah, her king cake was phenomenal. There's no doubt. I am a big fan of Pullman's. I still like Pullman's. The original, kind of the iconic king cake of Mobile, kind of the traditional. But
he's so loyal. He's just a loyal person, and so he's gonna stick to the first one he had. And
I do.
So two that I really want to try that I haven't tried yet are Sugar Rush Donut. I really want to try their spin on their king cake donuts, and then I want to try Bake My Day, and I think I want to try both of these because I don't have to share. They are individually sized, and I don't have to share with anybody.
One that I'm excited about is we're going to have to go back over to Fairhope again, and that is my friends at Fairhope Chocolate, who they do an incredible job. Chef Jewel over there, everything that she touches is 5-star. It's amazing, and she does king cakes, and I cannot wait to get my hands on Fairhope Chocolate's king cake.
Yes, another one that I want to try that one for sure. Another one on this side of the bay that is always a go-to is Greer's. I had them their king cake last year at the King Cake Off, and they were definitely my top choice for a traditional king cake. I think a lot of people forget that Greer's has a bakery, and so don't miss out on Greer's this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I love their king cakes as well. And I was trying to think. I've had a homemade a king cake that came from somebody's home, and I realize now it was a bread by Beck.
Oh, nice.
That I had,
that's fun.
and I think it was last year that a friend of mine ordered it. It took me a second to connect the dots, but I'm like, oh, that's where that came from. It's fantastic, and of course I've had Randazzo's before as well. But I don't want to confirm or deny that I've had king cake this year yet.
Oh.
By the chance that my wife listens to this podcast.
I'm picking up what you're saying.
Yes.
And I'm not happy.
But I am curious. What flavor do you like in the middle of your king cake?
I'm pretty. I like a cream cheese.
Just straight up cream cheese.
Yeah, I'm traditional cream cheese.
Yeah. I don't branch out a lot with the strawberry and the blueberry. I have had a blueberry from Warehouse, and it was phenomenal. But my favorite is just a cream cheese king cake.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, cream cheese all day long.
Yeah.
All day long. But there's so many people, and I listened to your podcast with Mandy, this most recent podcast, and talked about all the people that just make king cakes at their homes. One of my favorite king cakes I've ever had when my son was at Davidson in the band, there was a band parent that she's from Louisiana, and she made some incredible king cakes. And she always brought them Mardi Gras season after our parades. We would enjoy them. They're fantastic. But I love me some Cammie's Old Dutch ice cream.
No doubt.
With some king cake in there.
Yes.
No doubt.
And I think she won non-traditional, right?
I think
Last
she's
year at the
won.
King Cake Off?
I think she's won every single year. I think she has swept every single year, just about, in the non-traditional category at the King Cake Off.
Yes.
So yeah,
good stuff there.
Gotta go down to Cammie's Old Dutch, get some the king cake ice cream.
There's just so
moon
much.
pie ice
It is
cream.
just people are putting their twist on king cake, and there's so much here. And this is on a blog post as well, right?
Yeah, it's all things king cake. is the blog post there. You can find it on the Bienville Bites website. It's like I said, it's always a popular choice. We also I did want to mention too the gourmet goodies over in Daphne.
Oh, yes.
Just was awarded third best king cake in the country. Best king cake in Alabama, third best in the country. And this was over in New Orleans, so I'm sure the judges were probably a little
biased.
Probably a little biased, and probably knew what they were doing too, though.
Oh, and when people come from Louisiana I've hosted several people on the food tour from Louisiana, and they have a palate like no other. So when you give a person from Louisiana your food, they are going to critique it, and they're good. They're good at it. And she also won first in savory king cake. She's got a crawfish king cake, and y'all, I want it. I want to have that. I just can't imagine what it's like. So, and she just announced a couple of days ago, maybe, that she is doing crawfish king cake bombs. So you can get a couple of those and enjoy in a little bite size.
That sounds amazing.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
So, are we going?
Yeah, we're going.
Okay.
Yep. Gourmet goodies in Daphne. We're going. We'll report back.
Yes, and Big Bad Breakfast just announced that they are rolling out a king cake. So excited to try that one as well.
Yep. Rumor on the street is that it's the Atlanta bread recipe.
You said it. I didn't. I wasn't going to.
In the Big Bad Breakfast. So a lot of people, even on this podcast, I know we our the last episode with Mandy. We kind of talked about Atlanta bread and kind of the void they left. So that's the word on the street. Yeah. That's the word on the street.
I just had a king cake epiphany. Anyway, no, I really did, because and what really made me think a little bit more, and then just sitting here talking a little bit more about king cake. I know in the King Cake Off they have the categories where you can just do something a little different with it. I've never seen a king pancake.
That's a good point.
And so I was thinking it would be neat to come up with one. I don't have time to make it happen this year, Mandy, but I'm challenging anybody that's listening to make one.
Non-traditional category, a
king cake pancake.
Since we're talking of ideas, which I like that idea, I challenge Chris to come up with a king cake tour. So if you want that, I think you should tell Chris, since we're having these epiphanies.
And do the tour guides dress like babies?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
They absolutely will.
No,
absolutely.
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. Only some of them.
That's you, not me.
Lee loves to dress up.
I'm not a tour guide anymore.
But we do have our Mardi Gras tours kicking off this year, Bienville Bites, and those are always some of those popular tours we give every single year, and I'm excited about those. The Floats and Food Tour going to be going on Friday, February 10th, February 17th, and so there's going to be some good parades. We got a new tour this year that we're kicking off called Beads and Brews Trolley Tour. So it's going to be a brewery tour on a trolley. We're going to hit every single brewery in Mobile, light bites, brews at each stop. The trolley does allow you to carry beverages on board. I'm sure that's going to be a selling point for that. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to hit up, it's going to be at least 10 stops that we're going to make on that tour.
So you're going to historic sites like Mardi Gras landmarks, right, as well?
Yeah, that's right. So Mardi Gras Park, where you've got the tree there, and that's also the site of the very first Mardi Gras parade, the OOMs. That's where their very first their very first parade kicked off at right there. So some good history there. Mardi Gras, the Carnival Museum. We're gonna, of course, pass by the largest moon pie in the world and talk about the moon pie. And we're even gonna go down to Joe Kane's grave and Joe Kane's house, Creole Fire Station, where the Excelsior Band was started in 1883. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. If you like history, it's gonna be fun. If you like beer, it's gonna be fun. If you just like food and like hanging out, pre-gaming, it's going to be a lot of fun.
So you can watch the parade. This is February the 17th, correct?
This tour is February 11th.
February 11th.
And so after this tour is from 11 to 2, and then there's the first parade that day is going to be 2 o'clock. And so there's going to be 7 parades later that day. So come pregame on the trolley tour and hang around.
Off in a good spot for the parade, right?
No, exactly right.
So Lee, are you going to be like, or whoever the tour guide, are they going to stand in front with a microphone? Like, is this like a good traditional trolley tour where you're going to have 100%, a microphone and a megaphone in front?
100%. Yeah, we did this during Halloween on Halloween night, a trick or treat trolley tour, and it was a great success. We're going to do it again.
This isn't a tour guide. This is a hype director.
Yes, hype director. Well, I'm thinking, kind of like at theme parks, you also need somebody in the back. That kind of says,
Can I
please,
sign up for that?
Please have that guide in the back says, please keep your arms and hands inside the vehicle at all moving while we're moving at all times.
I was trying to figure out how I could get on this trolley.
There you go.
I don't really want to learn the script, so.
Well, that person does have to be dressed up as a king cake baby.
Oh. The person in the back?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Just a romper. I mean, a romper's fine.
Romper, just the word.
All right, I appreciate y'all coming in and hanging out with me on
fun.
the Port City Plate podcast.
Yes, thanks, Chris, for finally having me.
Yeah, we'll do it again. We'll do it again, Laney.
And thanks for letting me be the fifth wheel on your podcast today and your lunch. It was wonderful.
It was great.
Exciting times.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Well, thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for coming on. And if everybody I hope you'll subscribe to the Port City Plate podcast if you hadn't already. And continue listening. Like I said, we got Chef Wade from Slurp Society going to be the next episode. And I've got a long list of some really good guests we're going to keep having on the Port City Plate podcast. Had some good feedback, so I appreciate everybody listening. And don't forget to go follow our Facebook group, Port City Plate, on Facebook, and we'll be posting a lot of the things there that are going on around town, and of course all the podcasts. So until then, we'll see y'all in the next episode.